Come sit. You can be in the picture. We'll put you into the movie. Last night I was sitting in Borough Park. The reason I do it is because people want to see it live. There's a guy sitting to my left. I keep on hitting him. So I calm my wife says, "Would you stop hitting him?" Listen, he sat next to me.
Why two phones?
This is a recorder and this is a broadcaster. This is live. The whole world can hear us. About 2 people online, but the whole world can hear us. B'koyach, there's 8 billion people listening to us.
Are there 2 people listening now?
People have asked. People have asked. So I do it. I want to tell you a story. Have me. And I want to have about this story. This is Gavaldik. It's like a separate Simchas Beis HaShoeva situation, right? We're not here in Kingston Avenue. We're here in Schenectady.
Yeah.
They're dancing on the street or they push it? It's good stuff. This is Gavaldik.
They're not holding my dancing on Schenectady yet.
No, that's something's going on.
That's not Kingston. It's right here. You Kingston, you wouldn't hear.
Yeah, I saw it.
They were dancing?
I saw a speaker of people on internet.
We were in yeshiva. When was the yeshiva? A long time ago. 40 years ago. I'm not proud of it, let me tell you.
Wait, so we said l'chaim, but
yeah.
we didn't like...
We did, we imbibed. My tongue and my lips tasted alcohol. Yes. Whatever the case is, but some people are good at it. So we were in yeshiva. And we had Mashpia. Different Mashpia influenced in different ways. Where a certain Mashpia wasn't even our teacher. But if I bring with a lot, I think he likes to say l'chaim. He once told me, "You know you enjoy it." I said, "No, I don't." And he says, "You're a liar." No, I don't. I don't enjoy the Fabringen. I certainly don't enjoy the Mashkin. Yeah. So he Fabring, I'm not going to tell you. All I need is to tell you. Anyway, so one of the things he did for us was, he was a Chassidish, very smart guy. He was also very practical. So like before Yom Tif, there'd be a Fabring, he'd say, "So what am I going to do? What am I going to do?" He would like say 50 times, "What am I going to do?" And he would tell us what you do Rosh Hashanah, what you do Yom Kippur, what you do Sukkot, what you do Chanukah. He was teaching us how to serve Hashem. Obviously, he was teaching us what his teachers taught him. But his teachers probably spoke to him in Yiddish. And they came from Russia. He was an American boy. He spoke to us in English. But he found a way of making us understanding. The Hayom says, "What am I supposed to do now?" So I remember once we had Fabringen. It must have been before Yom Kippur. Maybe after Yom Kippur. And the issue of the Fabringen was, here comes 2.5 weeks of Esne Shlafen. You know, you learn yeshiva day and night. Yeshiva is day and night. I mean, there's officially hours for sleeping, but you're busy day and night. And then you have, quote, vacation. It's Yom Tif. But you don't work nearly as hard during Yom Tif as you work in yeshiva. You don't. I don't even know if the typical person works as hard at Rosh Hashanah as he works in yeshiva. But Sukkot for sure not. I mean, okay, you keep crazy hours. But the crazy hours doesn't only include going to sleep, it also includes when time you wake up. It's ganz geschmack, you know. You get up for Krishmas, it's Krishmas Shachas, or Krishmas Opein Rabbi. You get up for one of the Krishmas, you get up. See, Fabrengt, and this was a conversation, and I don't remember if he brought it up or somebody else brought it up. And we were good boys, that's the truth. But we were nitnikus, we bothered him. So there was a conversation. I was not involved in the conversation, but people were arguing with him. So what's going to happen in Sukkot? So you're talking now, probably 40 years ago, probably, we're holding now Pei Dalet. It could have been Mem Dalet. We went on Shlichus and then Mem Hey. So it was either Mem Dalet or Mem Hey. We were big boys, 18, 19 years old. And this topic came up. And he said, "Do this." And we said, "Why, that's not going to work. Do that." So finally he said, "You know what you have to do? Every free minute be around the Rebbe. You know what you have to do, Sukkos? Don't miss a Shachris, don't miss a Minche, don't miss a Ma'ariv." Meaning, it's true.
It's too late for that.
His point was, the truth of the matter is, when you have vacation, it's not a question whether you learn or not. It's only a question of what you learn, right? You have said that Yeshiva Lamed Allah says, what the Eibishter says, what the Rebbe says. When you have Bein Azmanim, you learn Makom Tibi Chafetz. You know, there were boys who were during Tish, they learned the whole Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, Hilchos Rosh Hashanah, Hilchos Yom Kippurim, Hilchos Sukkos, Hilchos Lulav. It's not that much, but it's not that little either. It's a good learn. You know, imagine every year we all learned all the halachas of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkos and Lulav. We'd be busy. And other guys would learn all the Makom Tibi Chafetz. It's also a chunk. You want to be busy. If you want what to do, there's plenty. Yeah. But the problem is the scheduling is hard. The scheduling is hard for many reasons, and one of them is because it's not a normal day. You know, you don't get up in the morning or sleep at night. You just go. So he said, you know what is gonna make Yom Tov constructive and useful for you? Be around the Rebbe. Don't miss a tefillah. Which means, whatever time you go to sleep, be there for Shachris. Whatever time you go to sleep, the Rebbe doesn't go to the oil. So the mincha is always the same time. Ma'ariv is always the same time. Now, of course, we wouldn't miss Ma'ariv because in those years, every single night was a Sikha. But you stayed up all night. You didn't necessarily come to Shachris. And he said, don't just do it Yom Tov. Do it the days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. Do it after Sukkot. In other words, if the Rebbe comes out, you'll be there. And some of my Chaverim, I'm not going to say I did, some of them, this was how their Tishrei revolved around that. It gave them a little structure. It doesn't mean they necessarily used every minute so well, but because they had that structure, they didn't go no place. You know, they didn't end up without any meaning at all, which could happen to Bachar very easily. And I want to add one more little historic detail, which you may not know. The Rebbe did not daven Shachar for the minyan, even a Shchedish. The Rebbe daven Shachar b'Yechidus. Even though it says b'Ferishim and Hagim that a Shchedish is supposed to say Hallel with the minyan, because saying half Hallel is like the Shabbat Bracha. I mean, there's Rishonim who hold you, if there's no minyan, say Hallel b'Chlal, the Shchedish. The Rebbe said Hallel b'Yechidus. Chatzi, I mean, he made a bracha, but of course it says in Minhagim supposed to make a bracha. But the Rebbe did not daven Shachar. Mincha might have always, every day. If the Rebbe's schedule allowed, he davened with the Bachar. Mincha was always 3:15, right for lunch. No, right after the hefsek was from 2:15 to 3:15. 3:15 was Mincha, and then Ma'ariv. So in the winter time, it was 6:45, which was the end of the second Seder. And in the summertime, it was 9:30, which is the end of the third Seder, end of Chassidus. So the Rebbe davened with the Bochurim, basically. And in those years, the Rebbe davened upstairs in the Sobis Medrash. The Rebbe came in, it's like a Shal Bamtir, the Rebbe stood right by the door. If you've ever seen the shul upstairs, they put a table in front of the spot where the Rebbe stood. The door is always locked. If you go into the Zal upstairs, the first door, closer to the front, is locked permanently. The Rebbe davened in that spot. So they put a table right over where the Rebbe stood, so that if you're sitting on this side of the bench, you're closer to the wall than where the Rebbe davened. If you're sitting you're further from the wall, even though the Rebbe sat on that bench, but don't tell the Bachurim will sit there. The Rebbe sat on the bench.
The Rebbe said if Bachurim are going to stop sitting, isn't it?
Oh, could be. Okay, can say. But the Rebbe came down right by the door, and he Kirsatayda. Mondays and Thursdays, the Rebbe came into the shul for Kirsatayda, but he come for davening. So no. Chalamoid was one of the few times that Rebbe davened with the minyan. Shabbos and Yom Tov. And Chalamoid. The Rebbe davened with the minyan Erev Rosh Hashanah. The Rebbe davened with the minyan Erev Yom Kippur. The Rebbe davened with the minyan Purim. The Rebbe davened with the minyan Tisha B'Av. And then the yard sites. Vav Tishrei, Yud Shvat, Chof Av, and that's it. Besides for Yom Tov, Chof B'Shvat, the Rebbe davened every day with the minyan. When the Rebbe Tzachai Mushka passed away, the Rebbe's schedule was changed legamre. Davening went from 9:30 to 10, and the Rebbe came every day to shul, and he davened downstairs.
Yeah, always. After that's
But just from Chof B'Shvat. Yeah. Before that, they davened Yechidus. So it was a big deal that the Rebbe came to daven. So it wasn't the pshat that if you were in Crown Heights, you saw the Rebbe every day, and okay, you missed a day. No, you didn't see the Rebbe. And we were in Otayda, they didn't let us go to Mincha Ma'ariv. If you did a Maimer, they let you go to Kiryas Otayda. They didn't let us go to Mincha Ma'ariv with the Rebbe.
You did a mimer?
If you did a Maimer, they let you go to Kiryas Otayda. There was a deal. You chazed a Maimer, which is, I mean, in those years you could find short ones, but still, if you chazed a Maimer, you got to Kiryas Otayda. For one time, not for the whole year. One Maimer, one Kriya. So Yom Tov, he says to us, okay, you're complaining, there's no schedule. don't miss an opportunity to be by the Rebbe. And it was good advice. It was good advice because it's good advice for several reasons. First of all, it created a purpose for our day. There's something that I need to do. There's a place I need to be at a certain time. So if I'm exhausted, I have to get there. I'll take my nap later. But it's not just I can just sleep away the whole Chalamayit. There's things that I need to do. And the second thing was, he was impressing upon us the idea that a part of Chassidus is Pasha being around the Rebbe. I mean, let's be honest. What is Chassidus? Chassidus is limud. Chassidus is Torah. Chassidus is Torah. I mean, you know what Chassidus is. Chassidus is not a party. This is not Chassidus. Even this is not Chassidus. Chassidus is Torah. A Maimer, noch a Maimer, a Maimer, Tanya, Kutasichas. Chassidus is Torah. In our relationship with the Rebbe, what was Chassidus? The Fabrengens. The Rebbe started a Fabreng and just spewed the lakus. The fountain was open, and from that pipe came. It was not the Fabrengens of the Rebbe they were just so special. I mean, you stood at Fabrengen and you had the best teacher in the world teaching you Torah. That's what it was. The Rebbe had this ability to make everything seem so simple. It wasn't what he said; it was how he said it. It was so easy, so glatt. And every Shabbos you heard Rashi, every Shabbos you heard Rambam, and you learned. It was beautiful. But hanging around the Rebbe, but just hanging around, we didn't have that opportunity. Not only we didn't have the opportunity, the Rebbe didn't give us the opportunity. He didn't daven with a minyan. Minchas arayin nadois, minchas like the mikveh. The whole thing takes time. Arayin nadois. So he said to us, when you have an opportunity to hang around the Rebbe, hang around. Just be around. Now, is it the most efficient thing for you to do? It's not. But it's Yom Tov. And there's a chance that because of the nature of Yom Tov and the schedule and the diet and a few other very exciting things, something called Simchas Beis HaShoeva, your schedule is so disrupted that as a single boy who maybe you don't even live here and your parents are not watching you, and even your parents are watching, I mean, what are your parents going to tell you? You're not 6. If you're going to come home late, forgive me for saying something, if you're going to come home drunk, what are your parents going to do? Shoot you? So he gave us a way of creating a mishbetzes, a box, where Yom Tov could be purposeful. There's plenty of time to waste if your whole sukkah is being by the Rebbe's minyan. But the schedule boxes it in. He gives it a certain fix. But he's trying to teach us the idea that part of his kashrus is Pasha being around the Rebbe. And not everybody had that feeling. There was different kind of chassidim. Chassidim who come to 770, what do they want? Some people which want to come, you come to Fabrengen, yeah? I mean, so he said before, it's kind of late for this, but what's a Fabrengen? They sits and talks. And every half an hour or so we stop and we sing a song, he talks again, yeah? I don't understand Yiddish. Or I understand Yiddish, I don't understand that, I don't know what I was talking about. The Rebbe was not easy to listen to. If you watch the video, the Rebbe is very hard to listen to. Because of the way he stops and the way he starts, the way the Rebbe transitions from a subject to a subject. The Rebbe never says, I'm going to repeat myself. The Rebbe says, the Rebbe doesn't do that. The Rebbe just moves from topic to topic to topic. And you have to figure out where he's holding. Is he going back to the previous topic or is he moving on to a third topic? And it all happens so seamlessly. Yeah. So a lot of guys came to the Fabrengen, I'm going to use the bad word, for the ambiance, for the experience of being the Rebbe and the L'chaim, huh?
Was that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, but the Fabrengen was about Torah and Avodah. And a Yeshiva Bacher should have been Zoiche. No one ever understood everything. Take something. Something the Rebbe taught and taught and taught. The Rebbe gave and gave and gave and gave. What am I taking? So, for those boys, the Kleimish, Kayochel, was smart. And when they went to a Fabrengen, they listened. And they took with the Fabrengen the Divrei Harav. So he was teaching us, there's more to it. You just got to be, you have to hang around the Rebbe. You got to hang around the Rebbe. And I feel that it was a lesson that we needed to learn. It's a lesson that we still need to learn. And I think it's something for you to think about. Meaning, your relationship with the Rebbe is obviously very different than mine, unfortunately, for very obvious reasons. And your relationship with the Rebbe has whatever dynamics it has. But one of the dynamics is hanging around. It's not everything, and you can maybe say it's not the most important thing, but there's a concept of hanging around. And you know how it plays out in your life? It plays out in your life in what did the Rebbe do on Sunday? What did the Rebbe do on Monday? The people sit around, they keep track of everything every minute, So what time did the Sikha start? And what time did the Sikha finish? How many minutes was the Sikha? Who cares? There's a lot of people that are caught up in what's l'chayda very chitzonius things, but they're busy with the Rebbe. And being busy with the Rebbe, even if you're busy with the Rebbe in dvarim chitzoniyim, it's certainly better than where else you would be. Kul amalei pligi. It's far preferred than where else your mind could possibly be if you don't have yeshiva and you don't have a mizgeres. But it's a part of our life. It's a kochazach in the Rebbe. And I feel like this is one of the inyanim of Yom Tov. You know, when Yom Tov comes, what happens? So we sit in the sukkah, we eat different foods, whatever it is. But from a perspective of Chassidus, when Yom Tov comes, what happens? From a perspective of Chassidus, we sit around and say, and what did the Rebbe do? You don't do that on a regular Monday, a regular Tuesday, you sit in yeshiva. Yom Tov, you say, what did the Rebbe do? And of course, you know how it is. Some people are saying, what did the Rebbe do? And other Bacham are laughing at them. You shouldn't laugh. It gives us something. It gives us something real. To be busy with the Rebbe, even if we're busy with Dvarim Chitzanim. I think Lashon Hara is the line, you know. When you start talking about the Rebbe and you end up talking about people, it's time to change the subject. Lashon Hara is such an easy cascade, you know. It's the bottom of the hill. Every hill ends with Lashon Hara. So you start talking about that meaningful, and you know what that guy did, and you should have seen what happened. Oh man, it was unbelievable. When you reach the Lashon Hara, you know you're in the swamp, and you're about to enter the sewer, you know. But it ain't, to be involved in the makifim of the Rebbe is a good thing. It's not everything, but it's a good thing. And it's one of the ways Chassidish Bochurim use Yom Tov. It would be nice if you got up at 6:30 in the morning and learned Chassidus for 2 hours, and then went to the mikveh, and you did lulav, and you went to shul, and you davened barichas, and then you went to Mitzrayim, and you came home, and you learned 2 hours of nigla, you learned Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, Chveis Vas, and then you went to Simchas. It would be nice. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I am saying that if you don't do that, it's not all or nothing, you know. And one of the ways of making Yom Tov meaningful is when you have off from yeshiva and your schedule is so disrupted, but you don't feel like you have full control of your time. Be busy with the makif of the Rebbe. It's good. It's good, huh?
It's kind of easy.
It's fine. It's not exactly an avodah. It's a what you could call it a fence. It's a siyag. You know, every boy asks the question: should I stay by the Fabrengen or should I go to sleep and come to Seder the next day? Right? What's the answer to that question?
Mashpia.
I'm going to give you a funny answer. If you go to sleep, will you get up to Seder?
No.
That's the answer. That's not a question. That's the answer.
Oh, okay.
If the answer is that you will, then go to sleep. If the answer is that you won't, you see, Yom Tov is, if the answer is that I won't, stick around. So avodah is, I want to be involved in Dvarim Kadosh. I want to be involved in holy things. I am not you, but when I was a bocher, I still have this Holiness. I'm certain you have bigger Holiness than I had when I was in yeshiva. I mean, the world is far more difficult than I was in yeshiva. Yeah, you have to protect yourself from your Holiness. One of the ways you protect yourself from your Holiness is being in good places. Even if in those good places you're doing things which are not the most optimum, they're not as deep and as precise as it could be.
Eating the tradition soup.
Huh? Eating. You know what it means eating a tradition soup in 770? It means giving yourself a headache for an hour and a half. And if you don't have that experience, you just machus man. You know how expensive a tradition soup is?
It's very expensive.
No, it's not the money. You go straight into my head and I start to essen schlaft. Es hat einmal kommen eine Zeit, wo nicht können essen und nicht können schlafen. You understand Yiddish? Eat and sleep, because when you get to my age, you won't be able to eat, you won't be able to sleep. All you do is lay in bed and twist and turn. Not like you're not tired, you just can't sleep. And you can't eat. So enjoy being young. Okay, so this is what I want to bring about. This is my topic. The idea that a bocher's shmira, a bocher, the Chassidish bocher's fence is that when he has nothing else to do, he's busy with the Rebbe. He's busy with 770. I'm not saying that should be your whole life. I'm actually not saying. I'm saying exactly the opposite of that. But when you are finding yourself in a maimed matzev, which is sort of precarious, that's my Hoira'ah. That's my lesson. Does anyone have any questions or want to sing a niggun?
Hang out in 770.
Hang on 770, yeah. Hey, don't get involved in fights, but hang on 770. Listen to the Dvarim B'Teilim. Go to the Fabrengens. I was telling somebody that in the good old days, I mean, I was younger than you, but by the time I got to your age, I couldn't do it anymore. But when I was 16, 17 years old, Simchas Beis HaShoeva started. It was 10 o'clock at night, 11. You went about 12 o'clock. You went to Simchas Beis HaShoeva. You danced till 6 in the morning. You went to 770. Or crossing 770 was the kind of stira mikveh. You went to the mikveh. You came back, and you put your head down. The Rebbe used to come with the esrog. Yom Tov, he came around 7. Chalamoyde came around 9, and you were in the sukkah, so you were the head of the line. You know, you didn't even get a number. Yossi Katzman told you about the numbers or not?
No.
Yossi Katzman from the organizers of the numbers. It used to be when you went to mention Rebbe's esrog, you got in line. You waited for 5 hours. So some guys came 6 o'clock in the morning, and they waited till 9 o'clock to make a bracha. If you came 8 o'clock in the morning, you made a bracha at 11 if you were lucky. If you were unlucky, Meir Harlag al Vasham took the lulav to the Rebbe for Hallel. And once the Rebbe got the lulav by Hallel, it stayed till the end of davening, which was around 1:45, 1 o'clock. And you got there at 9:30, you're a couple of people too late, and it's 10 to 11, and you're right outside the sukkah. Sorry, sir, you waited till 12:45. Meir Harlag got the lulav back, and then you shook the lulav at 1 o'clock, and then you thought about davening. But if you were up all night, you got into the sukkah before Meir Harlag, so you were ahead of the... So they gave out tickets. That was the chap. So they gave you a ticket, and they said, come back in a half an hour. So every 100 tickets, there was a certain amount of time. So if you got a ticket, you could come 6 o'clock in the morning, they gave you at 25, yeah? Come back 7:30. And you came into front of the line. And it made it much better for everybody. They gave out tickets. But if you came to the sukkah, you needed a ticket. You were there ahead of the Rebbe.
Where was this?
It only worked tickets because of like, there was different times and it would just go away. Because like dollars and like stuff like that, all this stuff wouldn't be applicable.
First of all, it theoretically could have worked by dollars.
Why
It
didn't
could have
you do
worked. Because no one did it. Dollars, your Rebbe
The whole
was...
part is that it stopped for
The
a period of
point
time.
is the Rebbe wasn't there.
Right.
The Rebbe gave his lulav to someone else.
Yeah, where would he sit with now the lulav?
So in the olden days, the lulav was on the eastern parkway side of the sukkah. The big sukkah, which is behind 770, towards Union Street, towards Brooklyn Avenue, it's a long sukkah, yeah? So the table nearest Eastern Parkway, he would stand, there was like a little piece of cotton. He would hand you the lulav. And you would hand the lulav back to him. And he would say again, pick up the esrog, put it down, carefully. He must have said it 1,000 times a morning. So he didn't handle the esrog, he handed the lulav. He handed you the lulav, and you would... Huh? No, I don't think he said to everybody. The Rebbe told it to him, and he didn't necessarily... I don't think he said that to each person. Later, they made a little booth, and they probably still do it. In the back, after the overhang, a little tiny room, so you walk in one door and you go out another door, so that sort of, it helps the efficiency of the line. But that probably started the late mems.
And how long was the line on like a Shana Haba?
For lulav, was very long. No, it was men and ladies. First men, then ladies. Yeah, sure. The line was long. The Rebbe came after davening. The top rings he took off. The top one, not the bottom one. So the Rebbe came around 8:45, let's say 9 o'clock. So you had from 9 till about 10 to 11, because the Rebbe didn't come into shul with his lulav. Meir would bring it to him. He came in Chazar Sashatz. Sashan Rabbi davening finishes probably 1:15 or 1:30. The Rebbe would walk out with the lulav. He'd go back upstairs. He'd go into his sukkah, and Meir would take it from the Rebbe. He'd come back, and so if you didn't get it before davening, so you probably waited till 1:45 to get the lulav. And then probably by 3 o'clock the line for the men was over, and then the women would do it. Shana Rabba, the women got the whole sukkah's not. But we would come 6 o'clock in the morning. Huh?
When would that be the blackout?
A whole day. The Rebbe didn't stand by the lulav.
So it was two separate lines.
Two different sukkahs.
Oh, so the Rebbe sukkah.
Yeah, there was a Rebbe sukkah.
Wasn't there a point where the Rebbe did come to watch everyone bench over Holiness?
Once. The first day sukkahs Nun Beis was a chiddush en kamayo. The Rebbe stood for over 6 hours.
So it was two separate lines, or they didn't connect. The lekach and lulav.
They two separate lines that they didn't connect. They figured it out.
Remember? You remember that?
What?
Remember that?
Sure, I remember. I'll never forget it. The Rebbe wouldn't sit. The Rebbe wouldn't lean on the stand, and he wouldn't lean on the wall. I walked in. You could see the Rebbe was in so much pain. The Rebbe stood for 6 hours. He was 89 and a half years old. Try that.
And did everyone go get lekach, or only people did get him?
Okay, I'll talk about lekach later. I want to get to my point. So we would get there at 6 o'clock in the morning, go to mikveh, come into the sukkah and fall asleep. But sometimes instead of falling asleep, there'd be a Fabrengen Fartog. You know, sometimes there'd be a guest who rolled in from Montreal, and he came and he would sit with you. Some of the best Fabrengens were these unplanned, spontaneous Fabrengens at 7 o'clock in the morning. You know, people are drinking Mashpia before coffee because they're waiting for the Rebbe's Esrig. You know?
They do it now.
Ah.
At like 10 o'clock, there's like Fabrengens in the sukkah.
Anyway, so my point is, this is a way to if you are afraid that when Yom Tov comes, you're going to end up spending the whole Yom Tov in bed. Obviously, it would be nice if you had a much more structured schedule, but this is an eitzah. To be around Fabrengens, to be around the Rebbe, and it's something. It lifts up. It lifts you up, puts you into a different space. It works. It works. So what other nigunim are there from the Rebbe Marash besides the Chatchalah? We're just saying that. Shuvu. After he dealt with the Marash.
Oh, and there's Halalu.
And there's also the Rebbe Marash.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know why, but I don't believe that. I believe in there's also the Kapelia. I don't believe in the Marash.
Nigun after
I don't know it. That's a piece. That's a Shuvah Chazonis. That's not for the Rebbe Marash. Shuvu. The diet is Tzemach Tzedek. No, what'd you find? Okay. Don't know Hechel Nagina. I don't know why I had this hang up. I just cannot believe. The story was that the Rebbe Marashi spent very little time with the Chassidim, so they made a very long niggin. So somebody told me, someone who knows, that the niggin before Dach by the Rebbe Marash, there's a tape where the Rebbe starts that niggin. So don't take your hands off from there. Yeah, for sure. If it says in Heichal Nagina, absolutely fact. I understand.